Welcome back. This week we're going to be working on the peer review for your critical reading essay. A quick reminder about due dates. For this discussion, your initial post with your draft will still be due on Wednesday like every other discussion we've done, but your comments will be due on Saturday rather than Sunday. So keep that earlier deadline in mind. The reason for that is that you then have a day to build your classmates' comments into your revision and get a new draft done so that you can turn that in on Sunday night. So the first thing I wanted to talk to you about with peer review is the experience for you as a writer. And I know sometimes as people are starting doing this peer review or as they've gone through it in high school, they wonder why we do peer review. I often hear from students, gee, I'm not the teacher, what feedback can I give, why are we doing this? So there are a few answers to that. The first is we do this to give you the experience of doing a peer review. The reason that experience is important is that you can learn from others who've done the same task, so you can see different ways of approaching the same thing that you've done. That helps give you more strategies in your toolbox and think about different ways of doing that same writing task. It also helps you dig deeply and think critically about those pieces that other people have done by really thinking about what people have done that's effective. You can build more tools into your toolbox. By the same token, when you think about things that people have done that were not effective for you, it can help you keep an eye on your own writing and make sure you're not doing those things. So overall, giving good, thoughtful feedback helps you grow as a writer. That's a few things I wanted to talk about in terms of how to do peer review. First thing is, please try to use iMessages and keep in mind that the feedback you give and get is an opinion. So it's easier to hear an opinion if it's couched as an opinion instead of an absolute. So I had a hard time understanding this sentence rather than this sentence is wrong, right? The next thing is it's helpful to tell your fellow writers what they've done well as it is to tell them what they can improve. So if you see something in an essay that's really effective to you, point it out and explain why. That helps you think about what's good about that writing. It also helps your classmate think about what their strengths are. Finally, ask questions to help your fellow writers build their ideas. So if you see something that doesn't feel like it's well developed, think about what they could do to help make it better developed. Next, you're welcome to correct errors in mechanics and spelling. If you see mechanical errors, like grammatical errors, try to explain why you think it's an error. That helps your classmate grow. It also helps you solidify what those rules are that you're working with. That said, just like your readings are going to say, try to focus primarily on higher level concerns. So the editing work is great, but as a peer reviewer, one of the biggest things you can give your classmate and one of the biggest ways that you can help make this peer review useful for you is to really think about the ideas and the way that those ideas are being presented. The other kind of mechanical and editing point I wanted to make was if you have an idea about how your fellow writer might revise a sentence or paragraph, go ahead and write it out. Sometimes it's really helpful to see that model because as writers, if we knew how to make it better, we usually would have already done it. So by seeing how someone else might do the same task, your classmate can grow. Finally, I just want to kind of put the ball in your court a little bit as a writer. It's common for writers to know what their weaknesses are, to feel like there's some part of their essay that isn't the best thing or isn't what they really want, but they don't know how to fix it. Take the opportunity when you post your draft to tell your classmates, I'd really like help with my thesis, I am 200 words short, whatever it may be that you really want to have other people focus on. Okay, have a great week, and I'll see you on the peer review boards.